What is happening, traders? Make sure to stay the full length of this freaking video for NEO stock. I just wanted to cover on NEO, stock ticker NIO, baby. What I'm watching for coming up on the short-term time frames and the long-term time frames, as well as some crazy stuff I'm reposting on Twitter, guys. So if you aren't following me there, please do so. Because I've been on a rampage for NEO stock. So many good posts in the NEO community. Just want to give you guys a shout out, right? Tech ticker trends basically saying NEO is not a car company anymore. We know it is. That may be a little bit exaggerated, but new PT treating it as a tech company and pretty much just saying Morgan Stanley came out pretty publicly saying they're reassessing NEO from a cash-burning EV company to a vertically integrated AI chip platform, representing a valuation redefining vector worthy of close attention. And I've seen this multiple times, but NEO integrating AI, what does that mean? That means you could catch this AI bubble trend. I'm not sure if I'm on board with that, but just looking at the potential price targets that a lot of banks and a lot of institutions are giving NEO, it's clear, guys. It's obvious that NEO stock is worth significantly more than it is today. Looking at Morgan Stanley's price target of 740, right, implying 56% upside. Looking at, don't know how to say that, 695, 46%. And it goes on and on and on, traders. Bank of America, 680, 43% to the upside. Goldman Sachs, $7 target, 47.7% to the upside. And when you look at the back-to-back quarters of operational profitability, the story has never been clearer for me. So I just wanted to cover that for you guys before we jump into the technical analysis here, because I feel like there is a sleeping giant in this stock that no one's really talking about, but they will be soon, traders. I'm convinced of it. And when you look at the short-term breakout here, it's likely that NEO see a little bit of upside, at least to 467. So you have about a 6-cent gap until you hit this local high from this last rejection. So that's what we're watching for on the short-term time frame for NEO to come up here. As you see, the 4-hour MACD cross green for the first time since middle of July, guys. Since July 13th. So hopefully that gives you a nice bid in price as you see a lot of small cap stocks outperforming the blue chips, which I also find hilarious. And it's part of our thesis that you're going to see this risk on sentiment come back into the market. And it's been a beautiful freaking thing so far because it's been playing out to a freaking T, guys. So I'm waiting and watching for NEO to come up here before potentially either seeing a rejection. And that does give you a shoulder, head, right shoulder formation on the short-term time frame to potentially then look to see a short-term profit target of about 486. So that's what we're watching for the short-term time frames. I wanted to cover more than just that, though, on the freaking hourly for IWM. We'll get into that in just one second. But I wanted to cover this on TradingView. So TradingView, we talked about the very clear and evident bullish divergence that you're putting in on NEO stock in the daily. You've already put it in an official lower low on the stock price, but a equal low or slightly higher low on the freaking RSI, guys. What does that mean? Right? That means that NEO stock is showing strength in these lows, and it's the exact same thing that I called out in the previous time you made this, right? The previous time you made significant bullish divergence was back here at this low, guys. Look at what happened, right? You went up 23 freaking percent. And although that did not precede the end of the downside pressure, right? Because from there you went down 18% and everyone and their mother was saying that this thing was bearish as frick. Well, we mentioned and we stayed consistent, pounding the table saying that this thing looks freaking phenomenal. And that's when you made your 56% run, guys. I think you're setting up for something pretty similar here, right? Bullish divergence. You have the opportunity to swing higher with the rest of the risk on asset market. And it is possible that you make another swing low in this bullish divergence before finally finding a bottom. So we're watching for that for NEO stock. I like it on the weekly as well, because the more you zoom out, traders, the more bullish this play gets. And I want to just go over something really quick with you guys. A risk on asset, kind of risk to reward sentiment here, right? So you not only have bullish divergence on the daily time frame, you also have it on the weekly time frame, right? But this one is hidden bullish divergence. This is the stock making a higher low, but the RSI making lower lows. That is indicative of a stock that is ready to rip ass. Absolutely rip. Now, there's no promise here that you don't come back down to 370 to 360 to retest this left shoulder low, right? Entirely possible. And we're going to continue to say so until you find a bottom and bounce. But traders, if you do, right, you have such an opportunity here that not only it's the left shoulder low horizontally that has bounced absolutely vertically, guys, but it's also this macro uptrend that took your 2020 bottom, your 2025 bottom, and potentially now the 2026 bottom that could give you the best risk to reward in neo freaking history, right? Looking at where we are today. That is a current 17 to 19% slide. Our price target on neo remains the same, and I remain just as bullish down here as I did back here, saying that I believe neo stock will see an inverted head and shoulders breakout that will take you upwards of $20. Now, of course, we want to be wary because there's bumps along the way, right? This $15 price target, or 16, what is it? 16, 18 is the technical resistance that we should be wary of, right? This current high should be respected, that we will come and find some hesitation. But guys, I truthfully believe the risk to reward on this thing is 19 to the downside and 246 to the upside. And I think that's pretty clear when you look at what are the big players doing, right? The big players are accumulating neo. The big players have a much higher price target than where you are today. In my opinion, the big players are right most of the time. And you're seeing sentiment for neo. I don't think I've seen it lower, right? And you're doing this as you get in to your final move on neo stock. When this downsloping resistance is broken, traders, there will most likely not be a time in which you have to jump in, right? So if you were not accumulating during these lows on the left side of your screen, during this 2020 low, I'm sure everyone, once you made that lower low, everyone was saying that neo stock was going to zilch, right? Zero. But in reality, what did you do? In reality, made that low, and within 2 months, you were seeing a breakout and you were already up 677%, guys. That is the kind of opportunity that I think is occurring on neo stock. I'm going to give you further due diligence on why. Just stay with me here. This has been something that I've pretty openly preached about, that neo stock is part of the risk on assets market. Now I'm going to show you a risk on stock, BlackBerry particularly, that has already seen its inverted head and shoulders breakout. Now I'm going to do comparison on TradingView. I'm going to pull up candlesticks, and I'm going to put this green and red, and then I'm going to zoom in, right? Look at the similarities. I'm going to delete every single, where is it? Look at the striking similarities, guys. The more you zoom in, the more you can see here very clearly that neo stock and BlackBerry had the exact same setup. Inverted head and shoulders. Inverted head and shoulders. What happened? Neo went first. BlackBerry went after. What are you getting now? Whoops. BlackBerry went first, right? And very clear. Come on, tools. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. You came back down to retest your left shoulder to a freaking T, guys. Almost to the penny, right? The low is 952. This is inaccurate because it's comparison. But we'll just say, what was it? It shows 430, and your low here was 430. So it's very, very possible, guys, that NEO comes back down here to this 360 territory. And if it does, guys, I will be so happy genuinely for everyone who is going to get in on the opportunity. Now, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take this as financial advice. But traders, I truthfully believe the best is yet to come on this stock. And just like NEO, right, you had this downtrend. You broke it. You ran. This was BlackBerry. BlackBerry had that downtrend. It broke it. It ran. NEO stock. Break this downtrend, right? If you break that downtrend, guys, this thing will go absolutely parafreaking-bolic. And there was a content creator that did the exact same comparison on Twitter days after I made this video. I love the freaking man, but I would have appreciated a shout out. Mr. Cantonese Cat. Come on, man. Come on, man. Did the exact same technical setup. We are watching this. The world is starting to pay attention. Cantonese Cat is on it. I love that man. Give him a follow. But a lot of eyes are going to be on NEO stock in the foreseeable future. And like we said, right? If you come back to this uptrend, guys, amazing value for your shares. In my opinion, not financial advice. I think that's where we'll leave it, guys. 4-hour chart looks good. IWM seeing a bid off of the freaking 50-day EMA on the daily time frame, guys. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful price action here. As you're testing or going to test at 293, the 9-day EMA, close above that, guys. It's my opinion that you will see that breakout on the Russell 2000, guys. And if you see that, GG, right? IWM going back to all-time highs means up. Hopefully we can see that volatility jump back in to the index as you rocket towards that mid 10s on 300 of IWM. So all that to say, guys, I love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Hope you're having a stand-up freaking day. I'm going to sign off here, and I just want to say, if you guys have not yet, it would mean a ton if you could slap the subscribe button. We're on the road to 3K subscribers, as well as hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get the notifications every single time I post, and I post quite frequently. Sorry, I thought NEO was doing something. Until next time, guys, God bless each and every single one of you. And remember, the best is yet to come. Peace.